When trying to find a supplement to help reduce ADHD symptoms naturally, the sheer number of options out there can be so overwhelming. I know that that's how I felt when I first started trying to reduce my son's ADHD symptoms naturally. It was staggering for sure. I felt like I was constantly researching this supplement or that supplement and trying to figure out which one would actually work. And then, of course, I'd try one and it would be a complete failure. Sometimes it even made his ADHD symptoms worse. It was so frustrating. So in this video today, I'm going to share my top 4 supplements for kids with ADHD. These are supplements that have not only worked for my son with ADHD, but have also worked for so many of the families that I work with. But you might be thinking, well, why should we listen to you? Well, let me introduce myself first. My name is Dana Kay. I'm a board certified holistic health and nutrition practitioner, and I work with families all across the USA, helping them reduce their child's ADHD symptoms naturally. Now, I know I don't sound like I come from the USA, but I do live in Seattle, Washington with my 2 boys and my husband. I've been featured in Forbes magazine, Authority magazine, Thrive Global and Medium, and have been an expert guest on various ADHD parenting summits and events. But all of that doesn't mean much if what I'm teaching isn't actually working. That's why I'm always so excited when I hear back from families that they are finally finding peace and calm in their house. Parents like Anna, who couldn't go out in public because of her son's constant meltdowns, but is now thrilled because her son is almost completely meltdown free. Or another parent whose son is now able to engage with his siblings and parents without blowing up, something he could never do before. I've seen families, including my own, transformed through these natural strategies, and I want the same thing for everyone listening in today. So, that being said, let's dive in. Supplements play a very important role in nutrition and healing. There is plenty of research which shows the symptoms of ADHD can be eased by certain supplements. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that it's always best to start with food. Supplements can be very effective and healing, but they can never be the be-all and end-all for ADHD symptoms. If a child is still consuming large amounts of inflammatory, processed foods, he or she won't really be able to see a noticeable improvement. Another thing to keep in mind is that every child is a bio-individual, meaning that everyone is so different. So one supplement that works well for one child might not have much of an effect on another child. That being said, the 4 supplements that I'm going to share today are all a really great base to begin with that just about everyone can benefit from. So, supplement number 1, a good quality fish oil for omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. So omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, they are polyunsaturated fatty acids that are meant to be in a 1-to-1 ratio in our body. Unfortunately, due to the Western diet, the amount of omega-6 in our body has reached unprecedented proportions and resulting in inflammation, blood pressure and heart disorders. Now, in contrast, omega-3, which comes from a Mediterranean diet, is extremely low in Americans. The deficiency of omega-3 and omega-6 can cause ADHD in children, and research suggests it can be treated by incorporating foods that are naturally containing fatty acids such as fish and nuts. However, since many children have insufficient consumption of these foods, supplements can be effective. In fact, some studies suggest that fish oil can improve memory, hyperactivity, clear thinking, behavioral disorders, and organization skills in children aged 8 to 12. Now, my favorite brand of fish oil is Nordic Naturals, and it can be found at a variety of locations. Okay, supplement number 2, a good quality probiotic. Now, there is a very close connection between the gut and the brain. Now, the frontal lobe of the brain is involved in gut function. The brain has many areas that are involved in gut function, but one of the main areas is that frontal lobe, and it talks to the gut via nerve branches and two-way chemical messengers. The frontal lobe is involved in things like attention, focus, executive function, planning, organizing, problem solving, all of which are common symptoms that most of our ADHD kids suffer with. So ensuring the gut is functioning well will ensure our children's frontal lobe is functioning well as well. Research shows that taking probiotics that contain a certain type of gut bacteria can reduce inflammation, help detoxification, reduce anxiety, improve mood, and also protect the body against the damaging mental and physical effects of stress. One thing to keep in mind is that our bodies are not meant to take probiotics forever. Once the gut is in a good place, probiotics should not be necessary long term unless when you're fighting off sickness, when traveling, or when on medication. Supplement number 3, magnesium. Now, magnesium usually works to decrease the symptoms of ADHD and anxiety. Magnesium is actually used in over 300 biochemical processes in the body, and it is an important element that supports muscles, it helps relaxation, it aids restful sleep, it keeps hormones balanced, it keeps the heartbeat steady, regulates blood glucose levels, and aids in the production of energy. Now, many parents that find that magnesium makes a surprising difference to their kids' anxiety or depression, that it aids in sleep and also reduces hyperactivity. Research shows that children with ADHD and anxiety have lower levels of magnesium, and using supplementation can have a calming effect on behaviors and reduce insomnia, agitation, and muscle cramps. So consider magnesium supplementation as it may have a powerful effect on ADHD and anxiety symptoms. And last supplement, but definitely not least, vitamin D. Many Americans do not get sufficient amounts of sunlight and are therefore deficient in vitamin D. A vitamin D supplement can work wonders to improve the symptoms of ADHD and anxiety, especially when it is taken with a supplement of omega-3 fatty acid. That's because these macronutrients regulate serotonin production, which is our feel-good hormone in our body, which is linked to social behavior, appetite, sleep, digestion, and memory. Vitamin D will also generally help reduce inflammation in the body, which is the key to healing. One of the best natural ways to get vitamin D is to get outside in the sunlight. But as this is not always possible, a vitamin D supplement can be very beneficial as well. Now, each of these 4 supplements can be beneficial for just about everyone, but they are my top 4 supplements for kids with ADHD because of how effective they often are at reducing common ADHD symptoms. Now, as mentioned at the beginning though, there is always a chance that one particular child might not necessarily need one or more of these supplements based on his or her individual body and what he or she is already getting from their diet. So always consult your health practitioner before starting any new supplement. Now, I know that was a lot of information, so I want to offer one more thing. If you have any questions at all, I would be happy to chat about this more. You can let me know directly in the comments below if you have any questions, or if you'd rather not share it publicly, you can totally send me a PM. I would be happy to help. Hope that video was useful for you today, and I look forward to chatting soon. Take care.